Hey guys, it's Panic Knife here with theawfulgamer.com, and today I'm going to be covering the Athiss hard mode flashpoint in Rise of the Hutt Cartel, Star Wars: The Old Republic, the brand new digital expansion. So I had early access, so I've already gone through all these things. But hopefully I'll get a video out for each of the hard modes. So we'll get some get you a little bit of information on it. Now Athiss is actually one of the easier of the new hard modes. The only difficult things is that there's a couple of there's some trash towards the end that. It's champion mobs. That's one is like an assassin, one is like a sorcerer. The sorcerers are healers, so they're kind of tough. If you pull more than one at once, it can be a little difficult. So make sure you just focus down that sorcerer, and they won't heal each other. It'll be good to go. So the first boss is Professor Layarsha. She drops a purple AOE down on somebody. Just move out of the group and drop it down, and then run out of it. Don't stand there and eat the dot that it puts on you. It stays on the ground for about 8 seconds, so you can't run through it. There could be a problem if there's a melee person that drops it down in the middle of the group or something like that. So just make sure you don't do that. If you're all ranged, you shouldn't have any problems with it. But if you're melee and you pull it out of the group, it shouldn't be a big deal either. If you do happen to drop it in the group, just have the tank pull the group out of it, pull the boss out of it, and you should be pretty much good to go. Just don't stand there like an idiot and eat it. It stays there for about 8 seconds. So that's about it, really. I mean, the rest of it's just there's some ads that come out. They have pretty low HP. You can just AoE them down, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, the second boss is the Beast of Vodal Kresh. Pretty straightforward. He appears to do a cleave. I usually, since I'm a ranged DPS, I never have to deal with that. So he does. I think he does do a cleave, and he knocks the shit out of the tank. There's a huge knockback that throws him around the map. Just, if you can, put your back to the wall when you're tanking him. If you can't, just make do. He does do this one move that's a raid-wide stun that does pretty significant damage, and then he spawns ads. This can be a little bit of a problem for the healer. I had problems towards the end of the fight with energy usage, so just make sure that you stack for AoE heals, AoE down the ads, and then get back on the boss. He's pretty high HP, but, he's not really all that bad. I've definitely had tougher things to heal than this fight, so you guys should be able to handle it. The bonus boss, which actually right before the bonus boss is when you get those crazy ads that I was talking about before, the crazy trash that, you have to focus down the healers. But the bonus boss is the Ancient Abomination. He does a cleave and knocks back the tank, so tank with your back to the wall like you can see in this video the tank is doing. He also does a jump that knocks everyone back and does a pretty decent amount of raid-wide damage. Stack for AoE heals. It can get a little bit tough at times just because of the fact that he moves you back. Everybody's at half health, and then the tank is dying as well, so you got to drop your AoE heals and that sort of stuff pretty quickly and then get back on the tank. Really, other than that, I mean, it's just a healer thing where you're like having a little bit of trouble. It's not that big of a deal. But otherwise, it's pretty much a straight tank and spank. I would definitely recommend doing the bonus boss. It's mostly just a kill everything bonus boss, or to qualify for it or whatever. But it gets you Arcanian level gear. I think in this one it dropped an earpiece, so definitely go ahead and try to do that. The last boss is the Prophet of Vodal Kresh. He drops down a purple AoE pulse on the ground. So, you got to be careful because it's actually the same color as the Sword Puddle. So it's hard to differentiate between the two. Just be careful. If you're taking damage, definitely move. It's a pulse, so it's not going to be constant damage. It's not going to kill you right away, but it will do some pretty significant damage, so don't stand in purple shit. In between phases, he's going to drop a debuff on a person called Soul Rend. It looks like the cauterized buff that you hit when you're a Marauder. I don't know what else to describe it. The penalty of destiny in EV. It's the same debuff. The shape and everything. It should be your only debuff, so just look out for that. If you get it, make sure you run away from the fire. The fire will target you. It'll run after you. If it hits you, it's going to do a ton of damage, and if 2 hit you, you're pretty much going to go down. So make sure that you just walk away from them, run away from them. If you have a Sork in the group, make sure that somebody pulls you away from them, all that stuff. He'll come back up, and you'll still be running around for about like 5 seconds after that. So once that's over, just go ahead and DPS down the boss again, and that's about it. He does appear to cleave, and he also drops aggro sometimes. It seems to be tough for the tanks to hold aggro on him. It's not really all that critical, but if you have the Soul Rend debuff at the same time, it can be a little bit tough. Just be careful with it. And he drops an Arcanian piece as well. I believe that off of this boss right here, I picked up an Arcanian Bracers, which is pretty nice. And they're, you know, open mods, open armorings. It's a pretty good piece. So definitely recommend keep doing hard modes while you're gearing up. And otherwise, that's about it. Anyway, with thealphagamer.com, this is your boy Panic Knife. Hope you guys are enjoying this Rise of the Hutt Cartel content. I will be putting out some class guides and some, you know, operation guides for scum and villainy, that sort of thing. So definitely stay tuned. Anyway, with thealphagamer.com, this is Panic Knife. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good night.